Okay, we're recording now. This is John. I'm at the Connecticut Mining Museum, and he's going to be kind enough to explain to me what these rocks are, most of which are from Connecticut. All of which are from Connecticut.
Right.
Go ahead, John.
Okay, now, these volcanic rocks had air bubbles in them.
Okay.
Mineral-rich water, supersaturated, gets into where the air bubbles are.
Okay.
Nature always fills up that vacuum.
Yep.
They condense out similar to rock candy.
Yes.
You know, you get a supersaturated solution,
Sure.
put something in, and out comes a crystal.
Mm-hmm.
That's how those crystals are all formed.
And what's inside that? What are those crystals? That's quartz inside of what?
There are quartz, there's prehnite,
Prehnite?
various different ones.
Okay. And
This is a picture of the quarry many years ago. It's much bigger than that right now down in Southbury.
Oh, okay. So we're still mining in Connecticut?
Yeah, we're in Connecticut, Southbury, Connecticut.
Okay. These are igneous. I know what that is. It's volcanic rock. I didn't know there was any in the state of Connecticut,
Oh, yes.
though.
See the black area? Those are where the volcanoes were.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Now the
All the black areas there.
Yeah.
I might even try to see if I can get, see if I can bring that one in. There we go. So the volcanoes went just about down the Connecticut River Valley almost.
Yeah, and then you see over toward Southbury area
Uh-huh.
and Woodbury, there's a other section of black area to the west.
Okay, and what these rocks here? The first one I
Okay,
see is
now, those were volcanic origin. The volcanoes weren't cones.
no.
They were cracks in the earth that filled up,
Okay.
you know, sprout out. You can see it right there.
All right.
Fissures, they're called. There's a picture of one actually erupting, not in Connecticut, but
Well, but these are Connecticut.
yeah, Iceland area.
Okay, amethyst. That I know is a rare earth mineral. Women buy that and make jewelry out of it. Amethyst.
I don't know of any rare earths in this immediate area.
Okay.
Yeah. Now that's one type. The other type are intrusive rocks. These are where hot rocks are caught between the lava flows.
Okay.
Okay, it's heated, and as they cool, they crystallize out
Mm-hmm.
and form the crystals within the rock. There's no gas bubble as such, you'll notice. They just form in the rock itself.
And what was this one down in the corner that says microcline? That looks like a. I mean, there's the two different kinds of rock there. And
Yeah,
what is the first rock? Would just be. I mean, it's intrusive, igneous. But what is the one in
Right.
the center? It's got that hexagon.
Yeah, that's the crystal that formed within the hot rock area.
And that is because the different rocks cool. They have different densities, and they cool at different rates. And
As they cool, they tend to crystallize out.
whatever, yeah, the certain different minerals will crystallize at different
Right.
temperatures. Oh, that's interesting.
Like, see that one there, the barrel?
Yep.
That always has that basic shape.
The hexagon, yeah, it's very common in nature, like a beehive.
Right.
And the shoal. And what is the black in that? Is that a carbon base?
That's caused by the quartz, the smoky quartz there, the scroll down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another chemical composition that causes the blackness to it.
What is
Now
gneiss? Do we have GNISS gneiss? We have that.
Oh yeah,
here.
nice. Granite.
Granite. Oh, that's a granite? Okay.
Yeah.
Now we have metamorphic rocks.
Metamorphic rocks. Now these rocks, like a caterpillar will turn to a moth.
Mm-hmm.
The rocks under pressure and heat change their composition to form a different type of crystal altogether.
How do they form from the same element? How does it form a different crystal? I mean, what are they, because of different
Well,
pressures, different
They
temperatures?
have different ratios to them.
Oh, okay.
Like for instance, the pyrite over there, the gold-looking fool's gold.
Pyrite,
in the corner there.
Oh, Pyrite
In-
Marbleite, yes.
In
that's
the
one.
marble, right. Now, with time, that would gradually turn to a reddish color and then black.
Why would that be?
Again, chemical reactions.
Okay, because I know.
I don't want to say rusting, but rusting is another typical.
Well, that's what I was getting at, because I know that a lot of granite has uranium in it that breaks down into a lead,
Yeah,
and then gives you that like gray charcoal color. I'm not incorrect in that, am I?
not absolutely sure. The quartz that you see over here, the black quartz,
Right.
that's caused by radioactive material in the area where the quartz was. And it becomes smoky quartz.
Because of its half-life, it keeps breaking down. So that's at least 1 billion years old over there.
Now this one over here shows how the rock can be a plastic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it can deform the same
And
way
then
that's
with the
like forged welding, where they.
with the heat and pressure, enormous pressure, enormous heat, it actually bends. Because that should be straight across when it
Yep.
was originally formed, that rock there.
And that's bent not by the liquid, that's bent from the force of the pressure on
The
it that
pressure
actually.
and the heat. The heat softens it, and then the pressure
Oh, that's interesting.
turns it like this.
Thank you, John. That is interesting. What does one hear instead? It says canite. I keep looking at this because it looks like a bunch of sticks inside.
Right.
How
We
does
have-
that form?
That again is one of the crystals.
Okay.
Actual crystal that's formed. It's metamorphosized. Exact process I'm not even sure, to be honest with you.
Is it almost? It does look igneous, and
It's
no, actually, it looks almost sedimentary.
now, see,
Sedentary.
these start as a sedimentary rock.
And then by the pressure.
Then with the pressure and the heat, they change.
Well, metal will also anneal if you give it enough pressure on them.
A typical example would be your
Your
marble here. That's actually seashells and so forth. And initially it's a carbonate,
Mhm.
and when you get a lot of pressure and heat on it, it changes into a harder marble.
This one looks interesting.
Limestone originally.
Pegmatite. Pegmatite mining. And this is also in the state of Connecticut, or was up
Right.
until 100 years ago, I'm guessing, by
Yeah.
there. Okay.
Connecticut was actually the birthplace of mining for this country.
Really?
Up until the Civil War, much of your mining, much of your metals and so forth came from Connecticut. Your
There's graphite granite, so that would have a high lead content in it. Wouldn't it?
the graphite?
Yeah.
No, that'd be carbon.
Carbon?
Yeah, like coal,
Okay.
softer. You see the size that the beryl crystals become.
Beryl, yeah.
No.
Why so large, as opposed to the other ones that seem to
It,
crystallize at a different rate?
If it cools very, very, very slowly,
Mm-hmm.
the crystals have more time to form.
I see.
If it crystallizes real fast, then you get fine little crystals.
I see.
If it cools too fast. Now, see the gem beryl over there? That's
yeah.
from New Milford, Connecticut.
That's from New Milford.
Northern New Milford. And they're actually, that area is famous for the crystals, for the beryl.
Ah. What do those things, I mean, to mine them, what would they be worth after they were pulled out of the ground?
One of those,
Mm-hmm.
$500-600 for a little one.
An ounce? I mean,
If it's clear,
wow. Are we
the
doing that
color's
still?
good.
Are we, no?
No, the beryl mine, the gem mine actually was closed to all outsiders. Only one man legally can mine in there now. He's got exclusive rights, and
And
he's
no-
living in Texas now, so
Yeah, of
he's
course.
not doing it.
Of course. Oh, now we
Now
have,
you
this
get
is,
over here, you
this
got
is a-
something a little
yeah.
different.
what do we have here? It's called reverse fault mining. And these are the reverse faults. I'm looking down at the faults in
That
Connecticut.
one up overhead, yeah. Those are the actual faults, reverse or standard fault. But those are where all the fault lines are in Connecticut. Over toward the eastern part of Connecticut, it's very active fault lines. A lot of earthquakes.
Yeah,
Small ones.
we had one I noticed some years ago. I was in a camper, oddly enough, and it felt like somebody was outside shaking it. So I know we do get tremors in the state of Connecticut.
Yeah, we had a pretty decent one, 2 o'clock in the morning, I'd say 15 years ago. It was bad enough so I thought the furnace had backfired.
I see.
You know, I could feel the vibration through the whole building. Over here is actually a vein, a fault line that
Oh, this is an
fills
actual.
with crystals.
Crystals look like calcium and quartz.
Yeah, well, those are, you know, but if you look up through there, you can see some purplish color ones. That's
Yeah.
amethyst.
Amethyst, okay. I'm also looking for gold, but I don't
Yeah,
see
not
any.
much gold in Connecticut. There's gold everywhere.
Place
You know, the whole earth is got gold in it, but it's so far apart, the individual molecules, that they're not worth mining. But if you get a volcano erupting, that tends to condense the gold, and then these veins of gold, as they erode, get into the riverbeds, and gold being very heavy settles to the bottom.
How do they end up in?
Painful.
How do they end up condensing into veins? If I mean, is it because the gold will condense at a certain temperature and because
Yeah,
of its
the
density?
high-
So it condenses, and then other stuff is liquid and forms around it, and other than
Yeah.
that, you don't have a complete diffusion.
Right.
A garnet, Connecticut state mineral, oddly.
Yeah, they're in most of Connecticut. These are commercial garnets. Most of Connecticut is commercial garnets.
Uh-huh.
Not pretty, not gemmy, but great for making grinding material.
Really, like what?
Well, like for instance, well, sandpaper, garnet paper.
Oh yeah.
You know, you can add as an abrasive in the
Mhm.
tumbling process, and it'll clean up materials. You can sandblast using garnets. Every time a garnet breaks, it breaks in a sharp piece. Now the gemmy ones are right over there in the little container. So you can actually make jewelry out of it.
Oh yeah.
But most of it is just a black material.
Interesting how they form inside the rock. And is this igneous rock that they form in, or are these
Well, this would be the
metamorphic? They're just
it's
sediment?
the pegmatite type
Pigmentite?
material. Yeah.
And that's formed, is that igneous, or is that, I'm thinking the three forms of rock where you had metamorphic,
Yeah,
igneous, and
Yep.
sedimentary.
yeah, I mean metamorphic type.
Metamorphic
rock.
type? Okay.
Okay, let me put these on. The lights here so you can see a little better. And I'll show
Oh,
you.
thank you, thank you.
Now those are the actual minerals themselves. We get to pick them up, hold them.
Oh,
There's an interesting one to pick up, that bigger one.
the galena?
Galena, this one here.
Oh yeah, that's heavy. What is it? What is in this?
Lead.
Lead, okay. So this definitely had a high,
Connecticut mined lead
see quartz vein in
and
it?
copper.
Yeah, yeah.
Iron. Iron was our big product.
And they have a lot of iron in this rock as well. I can see it right
And the
there.
iron, yeah, the iron's up in this area mostly, the commercial iron was. Quartz. Of course, without quartz you couldn't have that. Yeah,
Kainite, I
it's
can
a
see.
timer.
Timer.
Quartz vibrates at a specific frequency.
Really?
So that means it's used in radios, used in all kinds of electronics.
Ah,
Here's your kyanite that you were talking about before. Now you notice it runs like so.
yep.
This way it's very hard. This way it's soft.
Okay, what caused that?
It's the way the crystals were formed. They're almost like a layer.
So they cooled out first, and then the compression, or was it compressed and then they split?
More compressed, pretty much.
Okay, the heat from compression.
Native copper, this is the way the copper actually comes out of the ground.
That's unbelievable. Because
Now
I
that
just saw something on Time Team, and they were pulling copper out of megatite, copper something, megatite, but it was a small amount of copper and stuck in a rock. They had to crunch it down and then smelt it out. This is
Yeah.
how it comes out of the ground? Like
Yeah. Michigan, that particular piece is believed from Michigan. But we got a big piece from Connecticut here.
Well, yeah, they used to copper mine up at
Iron
Newgate.
ore,
Okay.
right there.
You can see a lot of the rusting in the rock.
Yeah.
If I can get it into view. And this would be,
The iron ore, that's the actual iron ore.
okay, so it was melted in.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how it appears in nature.
Really?
Lightning strike,
And this
melts the sand, and that's what you get. Fulgurite.
shock quartz in there as well?
Hmm?
Shock quartz from a lightning strike?
Yeah, different types. In other words, there's the section there where the lightning hit a rock.
Okay.
You see it?
Yeah.
And the liquid rock went into the air, hit a tree, and then dripped down. You see this strings of rock. Now these are ones that you can see the actual, like the garnets, and get to touch it,
Ah,
get a good look at it. We like to keep as much out as we can for people
that's
to feel and touch.
The quartz is amazing, though, how it seeped into that center and then crystallized like that. That's just amazing. Mines and quarries in the state of Connecticut, and this is
These were the major mines were. And like for instance, building stone,
okay.
you push the button. The green mines are still operating. The red mines are closed.
Okay.
So we got the building stone,
Yep.
aggregate,
Okay.
still a lot of that.
All right. So we're doing a lot of mining in Connecticut to this day.
Yeah, of that for that material.
Okay.
A little bit of your limestone. If you go to northwestern Connecticut, Route 44 and Route 7 there, on the northeast corner, you can see a major factory up there that's still using the stuff. And they're still hauling out of the hillside there. Iron ore, no more. Pegmatite, not mining that anymore. Over here. Barite, no more. Garnet's all deceased, along with copper
Okay.
and the other minerals. So we've lost a lot of our mining industry.
Mined out, or just too difficult to get now?
It's cheaper elsewhere to produce,
There it is.
and our environmental requirements are very hard
Yeah. Yeah.
to reach. Dinosaur footprint.
That is interesting.
Now we're going to have a whole section on dinosaurs and prehistoric animals and the geology of Connecticut. That's what that new section's going in.
When will that
is
be
gonna
done?
It's not finished yet, though.
No.
There's the Mayan Hill furnace where they manufactured iron.
Mm-hmm. This was
Supposed
what
to
through what dates? Late 1700s, mid 1800s?
1800s thereabouts.
Okay. This is also
Yeah.
kind of interesting over here. That looks like an Enfield. Is this an Enfield? 50 caliber Enfield. Springfield?
let's see, Springfield.
Springfield, okay, that's just right around the mid 1850s into the early 1860s.
Now, in those, they wanted the iron made in this area
Why was that?
because it was a much better grade iron. Some of the best around. It was used for train wheels, anything that took a lot of punishment.
What made it better? What made one iron better than another? 'Cause to me, it's just Fe.
First, the raw materials.
Okay,
They had a very good grade of iron, which you needed, iron oxide.
all right.
The marble here is very good.
Mm-hmm.
And of course they had the charcoal from the hardwood. Combine them all, have it burning. The charcoal forms carbon monoxide.
They weren't using coke? No, just...
No, we don't have coal in the immediate area. They'd have to ship that in from Pennsylvania or someplace like that, which cost money, especially before the railroads were really running.
Mm-hmm.
And the carbon monoxide draws the oxygen out of the iron ore, forming a liquid iron and the other materials in it. The iron is heavy, goes to the bottom. The other materials, silicas and so forth, go to the top. And then they just tap it off like that, let it flow into the sand. You see a lot of this around Connecticut, slang.
Oh. Yeah.
That's the waste product.
Yeah, but I wonder right now, they were doing something in England where they were pulling the slag because the iron quality, the iron content in the slag was so high that they were actually smelting it out. They didn't, apparently 200 years ago it made no difference to them, but now it's commercial.
How many of these there are?
No, here's the other minerals other than iron that they actually mined in Connecticut. Cobalt, nickel, bismuth,
2, 3, 4,
tungsten, which had basically no use until Edison invented the light bulb. Barite,
9, 10,
copper,
11,
lead. That's the biggest piece of copper ever found, native copper ever found in Connecticut.
18,
That's how it looked when it came out of the ground.
Was that about 60 pounds? 110
110
pounds.
pounds of copper.
And finding it like that.
Yeah.
See, that's where I would like to mine, if I could find chunks.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
In Michigan, there's a hunk of copper bigger than a Volkswagen. But it's just so big, so heavy, so deep that it isn't worth taking out. But there's the various ores of copper.
7, 8, 9, 60. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 70.
Very nice. We have more?
3,
Is there more?
Pardon?
Is there more?
Yeah, oh yeah, this is just the beginning. Around the corner, Danburite.
And Danburite is...
5, 6, 7,
Is
8, 9.
that type of material there. It's a crystal. Looks a lot like quartz actually.
It does.
And it, no commercial use I know of.
Okay.
Can be used in jewelry though. It's here around the corner. First found in Danbury, Connecticut.
Okay.
The person who found it named it after where he found it.
Danburite. Has it been found anywhere else?
No, we haven't found it's from all over the world.
Okay.
They found
That's what I
more.
was getting at.
But that was the first person to find it and name it. The only trouble is nobody knows where he got it.
Yep.
They're still looking though.
They'll find it. Ah, the lime industry.
Yep, that was a big industry.
Yeah, don't they use lime to make mortar? They just
Yep.
heat the lime up and then they put some...
What they do is they heat the marble. They literally burn the marble
Okay.
to form lime.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The calcium in the marble, after it's been burnt, forms lime.
And don't they put sand in it then?
Yeah,
and
you
then
can
after
make-
sand they crush up like pottery or something, like clay to make it waterproof. Isn't that what the
Yeah,
Romans used to do?
right.
To make their like waterproof mortar?
Now, also in the local Marble to the northwest part of Connecticut is a lot of magnesium. That magnesium bar actually came from the Canaan area of Connecticut, North Canaan area.
And it's called trinolite?
Magnesium, and Nelco is the company,
Oh, okay.
New England Lime Company. Very light. You can pick that up with no problem at all. I don't know if you've ever held a magnesium ladder.
No, but I've held some heavier and I've held some that are
They're
light.
light. Lighter than aluminum ladders. The first atomic bomb used magnesium for the metal, and it was made right here in Connecticut.
I see dolomite off in the corner. That's just that's magnesium and calcium, isn't it?
Pardon?
Dolomite. That's magnesium and calcium.
Dolomite is a marble with magnesium and other chemicals in it. And one of the major uses for this marble is for putting in the fields and so forth for the plants, because most plants need magnesium and there's not enough around for them. The quartz industry.
Is that still active in the state of Connecticut?
Yep, that's the state of Connecticut. Here, let me just get this started. Okay, right over there is the factory, Silex Mills. I don't
Okay.
know if you ever heard the word
No.
Silex, but back in the 40s, glass containers were often called Silex containers.
Okay.
And so it was used for the glass industry, used for paint industry. Right over here is this metallic silicon, the actual metal, right there.
That's not from that's
Yeah.
Connecticut? Silicon.
Not that one, no.
Did they mine silicon in Connecticut? Or is it
Well,
just something that
silicon's
comes
everywhere, you know.
Yeah,
it's-
not like that, it's not, I think.
No, that's the refined product.
Okay.
Let's see which part they have. Yeah, they don't say exactly where it came from. You know, what part of Connecticut would have had some silicon.
Yeah, the quartz does mention where they're from.
Yeah.
Smoky quartz, Southbury, quartz egg,
Yep.
quartz albite, Portland, Connecticut, smoky quartz. Doesn't say Wellington, West Wellington, Connecticut.
And your amethyst, of course, is a quartz.
Oh, come on, Carol.
And in here, the fluorescents. Now, these are from all over. Some from Connecticut.
And which ones would be from the state of Connecticut?
Well, the green here is one of them. That's from Kent.
Okay.
The blue in the corner over there, that's from Trumbull, Connecticut.
Okay.
That's the ore of tungsten.
All right.
The red over here, that's from Connecticut.
That's not
That
coming
came
up.
from Brookfield.
It's not coming up real well. Try to break my own line off
There are quite a few in here from Connecticut, New York State, this immediate area.
there. I'm still struck when I look and think about phosphorus. I'm thinking of Madame Curie
Yeah.
and
well, hers
also
was
the
a
radioactive.
radioactive.
They are all
Yeah.
radioactive. Then.
Yeah. This stuff just glows when the ultraviolet light strikes it. Now your best fluorescents are actually from New Jersey. in the Franklin area.
Mm-hmm.
There's a fabulous fluorescence there.
Still nice. Nice. Well, is that it, John, for the...
That's the mineral section. Then we got the mining section. We're messed up because they're doing part of the expansion here. But this over here is the blasting tunnel where we demonstrate how they actually blast.
Okay.
Blasting isn't one big bang. It's a sequential blast. Center blows out first, makes a hole there. Then the outer edges pushes the material inward. And then another outer area blast in more, breaking it up. And then the kicker on the bottom kicks everything away from the wall. This is an actual blasting unit that they use for timing the blast. And if I can get this down here, the batteries are still up good. We can show a blast actually taking place. This charges it, pushing that button. And then we're gonna wait for the lights to come on. Batteries are getting low. And once that light comes on, now the capacitors are all charged up in there. Then you'll fire in a hole and set off the blast, and you'll see it'll go in sequence.
I see.
In the 4 blasts. There. That was actually donated to us by a blasting company.